This is my first video, so I'm trying to be... Oh, fuck, the light's off. Restart, kill it. Hey, guys! This is the first video. I'm trying to be a funny and relatable ethot, if you will. You know, a hot boy, a Jakey-approved man himself. You know, recently I've been thinking of something. I've got something on my mind, and it's 2D games. There's a certain magic to 2D games I think a lot of people have forgotten about, and that's not to say the medium hasn't been flourishing, it's just that the larger it gets, the less people I find willing to talk about it. And I know this is a weird complaint, but if you'll hear me out, if you let me talk to you about why 2D games matter so much and why you should maybe spend more time looking at them, I promise it'll be worth your time. If you clicked on this video, you probably knew this already, but a 2D game only allows you to move on the X and the Y axes, whereas a 3D game gives you that third one, the Z axis. 2D is a medium. It's the material of which the art is being expressed. Just like how 3D games can have drastically different art styles, 2D games obviously can have their own unique styles too. Just know that there is a wide variety of styles out there and ways to play these games in different genres, and in order to begin this discussion, well, we need to go deeper. A 2D roguelike action-adventure where you will die a lot. You and up to 3 other players are trapped in a yellow submarine, and presumably you're trying to get all the way to the bottom, but I wouldn't know because my crew is half-witted and fully incompetent. Throughout the course of the game, you'll find a slew of enemies. I like to identify them as 3 different classes. We have Bumpy, we have Stabby, and we have Humpy. Stabby pokes holes in your ship, Bumpy will ram into your ship, and Humpy, well, they're more attached to your ship than billionaires are with their money. Now, while this is all going on, the engineer's probably calling the gunner a fucking idiot while he's trying to patch holes, and the gunner, well, he's probably calling the pilot a fucking idiot for not being able to dodge a giant-ass fish. The bosses are dickheads. They do a combination of humping and bumping, and they'll be sending pawns at you all the while, and if you're anything less than fully prepared, you're probably gonna get fucked. There's also random events, things like fairies and time travelers will teleport inside your ship, and depending on your crew's luck, it can either be a very, very good moment or a terrible, terrible accident. Another really cool mechanic I like in the game would be involving your inventory space. You're only allowed to carry 1 item, unless you find a backpack, then you can get 2, and that really gives value to each member of the team. So as a pilot, I might bring a gun to make cave exploration easier, but the trade-off is that I can't repair anything. I have the inability to do that. Whereas the mechanic who might bring his wrench can only do a fraction of the damage, but can repair the ship. Another really cool thing in the game is that we all gain the same amount of money, so if you make $10, I make $10, however the amount we spend is uniquely our own. So if you think an item would be particularly useful for your role, you can put the most money in, where I and the other crewmates can put a little bit in to help you ease the cost, and then we can contribute to things we think might be more useful for our roles. This game is its own. I haven't played anything like it or anything similar to it. It's a roguelike, of course, it's a dungeon crawler, but just the way they execute it is really nice. And the developers are still working on the game constantly. They made it initially for a 2017 Taco Bell Game Jam, which I think is amazing, but maybe that's not your style. You prefer something faster, something cooler, something that requires a shorter attention span, like Doom or CSGO. You can just hop in, get out, and fuck a few bitches up, you know? Well then, you might want to give this number a shot on the screen. You see, it's a hotline, Miami. It's a high-octane, fast-paced, top-down shooter that will get you very angry and, honestly, a little horny. There's a huge variety of weapons available for the player to use. There's over 25 melee weapons, over 15 guns, and 10 throwing weapons, and if you don't know what that means if I take this brick right here and I fucking chuck it at this dude, then, well, that was a throwing weapon, that was a brick. And on top of that, with all that weapon variety, there's over 27 masks, or I think it's exactly 27 masks, excuse me if I misspoke, that each give you a unique ability. The player gets to do something different with each mask. There's masks like Peter, who will have your gunshot silenced, and then there's people like Willem, who will kill and steal your weapon. I even got Tony the fucking Tiger in this bitch, man. How do you do that? How did Kellogg say yes to this? Another really cool thing about the game, it operates on a one-hit, one-kill system, meaning that you will always die in one hit, and your enemies will usually die in one hit. Now, you may initially think this is encouraging a slower playstyle and want players to relax and kind of take their time with each mission, tactically breaking their way into rooms and shooting each target. However, the way the game is meant to be played, is very different. You see, you get rewarded for being loud, you get rewarded for being fast, you get rewarded for using a different variety of weapons. If you don't do that, well, your score will be complete and utter dog shit. Instead of bringing a weapon with you and making sure it's loaded and slowly making your way around the room and then shooting a guy and then someone heard, but it's alright. I'll put the gun here, hide behind this wall, and then stealthily snap his neck. What's meant to happen is you bring an Uzi and you fucking kick down the door, like, and then like his friends here, and you're like, I'll throw this at him. You're like, the music is very obviously inspired by the time period the game takes place in. The beats are punchy, the synths are euphoric, and it perfectly coincides with the way the game was intended to be played. I won't, however, lie to you, the game is a bit stressful, and you'll probably be angry and have the adrenaline pumping when that was fucking bullshit, man. Fuck! Eventually, although not anytime soon, your anger will subside. You'll calm down, and maybe you want to go outside and maybe gaze up at the star Dew Valley. This has been one of my favorite games recently. If you've ever played anything like Animal Crossing or Harvest Moon, this is definitely made for you. This is your type of game. You can have relationships with most to all characters in the game, whether that's platonically or romantically, and every bachelor or bachelorette in that game is free game for you regardless of your character's sex, which I think is really, really nice and a good and appreciated, a very much liked detail. There's fishing, mining, fighting, cooking, and gambling all alongside farming, and you really can spend as much time as you want on any of these activities. There's also a great way of measuring your progress. There's a community center. There's 2 ways to go about it. However, I'm not going to be talking about when you sign it over to the Joja Mart. It's the most heartless way to play the game and not what I want to talk about today. It's super boring and grindy, and you just have to get tons and tons of money, but if you think that's the way you want to play, then that option is available to you. See, there's this community center that encourages you to try every aspect of the game at no rush. You can complete any of the tasks in any order, in any way that you want, as long as they get done. As you complete big tasks, it'll restore one specific room in the community center and give the player a new perk. Those range from unlocking new areas to making travel easier to even boosting your relationships with other characters. See, there's also community events. Throughout each year, there's different seasons and holidays and local holidays, like things only pertaining to the Stardew Valley, that the player can partake and experience. They're all optional, I believe. You don't have to be part of any of them, but it's meant to immerse you and invest you within this community and give you the sense of friendship and trust that these characters give off with each other. Overall, Stardew Valley is just a very simple and calming experience that you can have on your own or with friends, but what's really important is that you have a good time, and the game emphasizes that. So why do you give a shit? You know, why did I just spend all this time talking to you about 3 games that have, for the most part, lost all relevancy in modern gaming media? Well, that's exactly why. They've become irrelevant. Now, listen, I get it. When games get older, people stop talking about them. But as time has progressed, I hear less people willing to share their experiences with 2D games. You know, things like Celeste or Owlboy. Fuck it. Even To the Moon. I'm the only one talking about it today. The only one. What a unique and original YouTuber we have, boys. He's the only one. But in all seriousness, people will push aside these inferior looking games for the better looking ones. I can't really blame them. 2D being the mandatory form of gaming is long since gone. I'm probably 3 decades too late on this topic, but there's so many memorable experiences out there. Games that'll pull at your heartstrings, or gameplay that'll have you on the edge of your seat, or unique ideas that are being washed out consistently by mainstream media, by modern games in the 3D AAA studios. But the teams working within the limitations of a 2D game always have to react creatively. The style has to be special, it has to feel great to play, it has to do something on its own. And every day something new comes out that we all miss because it's just swept under the carpet. I'm an OG gamer. God, I miss my 2D games. I wasn't even born when the N64 came. Alexa, when did the N64 come out?
I'm not sure.
Alexa, artistically, we've kind of peaked with 2D games. Of course, there'll be new beautiful games coming out, but you're not attempting to reach ultra realism, especially with the 2D game. That would probably look really weird. We've been playing 2D games since 1972, and the only way to continue evolving the medium is by having new and innovative ideas take over. So that wraps up this video. I believe 2D games are a beautiful thing, and I really hope this video broke the ice for you. I know I was stiff. I know you probably cringed through more than half this video. I'll probably be cringing next week when hopefully the next video is being produced. I hope it gave you some kind of drive to check these games out and maybe to do some research on your own. Thank you very much for watching. I have to go now, take an elevator up, but hey, sorry to bother you. I just want... Hey, sir. Sorry to bother you. I know you're just on your elevator.
Sir, I really don't care.
No, it's cool. I'm just, I have a small YouTube channel. I just wanted to let you know, if you can like...
Today's not the day, sir. Just fuck off.
Yeah, no, it's cool. Just, if you want to subscribe to my channel, it'd be nice.
Shut the fuck up!